Welcome to Bottom Line Sports Talk. I'm George Abraham. You know my partner Albert Campman. You know, Al, you see records today. And of course, much different game. Up and down like crazy. Driving kick like crazy. Three ball being a huge part of everyone's offense. I don't care if it's the 8th grade girls at St. Gwendolyn or it's Gonzaga. But man, Austin Town Fitch, that record was 66 years old.
Yeah, we were talking about that. That's an amazing record by Jack Morrison. What a player he had to be to hold the record since 1954. But congratulations to Tom Simons, who finally came on and broke the record that stood for 66 years. The previous record of 1,287 points was broke. Congratulations to Todd. We talked about it on our show before. And now he's the all-time leading scorer in the history of the school. One of the things that I never want to take it away from kids because they work hard to break records. But we are, on this show and our other two shows, coming up with, every week, 3 or 4 kids that score 1,000 points, George. So, you know, sometimes records that were major records at one time are easily attained for a couple reasons. The three-point shot, and a lot of them, because they're such good players, boys and girls, are starting to play in 9th grade.
Yeah.
So they get 4 years. You know, average 250 points a year. Then all of a sudden you got your 1,000 score, and we want to congratulate Belle Zerzo for that. She's only a junior. That's why I wanted to mention that. She got her 1,000 points, George, in 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
That is saying something. Congratulations,
And she's
Belle.
not done.
She's coming back for her senior year. Yeah, that is awesome. When I saw that, I wanted to mention how many players who play 4 years, they get it, that she's got it in 3. That is sensational. Also, we want to congratulate Mason Robinson at Jackson Milton for his 1,000 points. He also has a lot of assists, so I like the way you have both the assists and the points. And congratulations to you 3 kids. Keep it up. I'm glad you got a chance to play this year and break those records. That would have been so sad, George, if everything was shut down and they didn't get a chance to get those records that they got. Congratulations. Let's look now also to football. A big namesake at Poland just got hired, Tom Pawlanski. You know, the Pawlanskis have been around Poland forever. The field's named after the father, Mike, and when Mike coaches, the brother coaches at Canfield. You're talking about they're going to meet next year in the first game, George. Think about that, playing each other.
Opening ball game, and that's a rivalry. We've been to that basketball rivalry.
Yes, and I've heard Dave Pawlanski's name for forever. We drive by Poland to go to our show. We've seen that beautiful stadium named after Dave and their dad. Tom had a great career at Lakefield, won 31 and 98, and now he's going to Poland. A lot more pressure there. Poland wants to win everything. George, how many times have we said that? Poland.
Just look at the facilities.
Yeah, we're going to come here and win. So when he plays his brother Mike next year at Canfield, the first game of the year, I'm pretty sure they never coached against each other in a regular season game before. So they never. And that is so interesting. Congratulations to the Pawlanski family, and good luck to you next year. Talking about coaching, Jared Calhoun's happy. They gave him an extension for 5 years. That really helps recruiting, George. When you can tell to a recruiting class.
You can't tell some kid we don't know who the coach is going to be. It's
Right.
tough enough.
And based on last year's record of 18 and 15, and his tremendous personality of getting along with the media and getting along with everybody, I think that's one of the reasons they hired him. This year they've struggled, but they're coming on strong now. That Quisenberry has come back and is playing. Good luck to Coach Calhoun and the YSU Penguins. And as right now, they in Wright State are really playing good basketball, and along with Detroit and Cleveland State, the league is coming on strong, George. And we're gonna see how YSU fits into this major part of the schedule. As you get to February, you're heading for March Madness.
And you look at the record too. If you look closely, the 6-10 league record was preceded by 5-0 out of league. That schedule was carefully crafted.
Yeah, it helped. It helped. That record helped this year. So you can't. They didn't hire him because of this year. They hired him because of last year, and they hired him because they wanted the recruiting to take off and build the pro. They're trying to build a program there. You know, we're Coach Slocum guys, and I'll say it all the way. They did not give Coach Slocum everything they gave Coach Calhoun.
There's no Butler, no Valpo, no Loyola either. Let's be blunt.
Yeah, more on it completely. And when you look at YSU, you're thinking a program that must have packed bigly. They don't pack it either. You know, so
No,
all those things have to go into play.
Yeah, it's tough. And this guy seems to have that little bit of
He has that
flair, and he
does.
may, you know,
Awesome.
if they can turn that corner. I'll tell you, I watched Detroit last night. I don't want to make a living beating them.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, those teams are good.
Cleveland State's good too.
Yeah, those teams are good, and
we know Wright State, Northern Kentucky. This league's very good.
Yeah, Coach Calhoun, congratulations on your contract.
Yeah, exactly.
And let's go out and get some really good players.
Yeah, we're rooting for you. Don't think we're
Yeah,
not.
turn YSU into a power, and in that conference, that would be tremendous.
Now, how about some football? 10 games
It's coming.
in the fall?
It's coming. They lost one game. They lost the game against McNeese State, but they won't be playing. So instead of playing 11, they're playing 10. They'll have two buys this year in football. But the schedule is set up, and it includes.
Incarnate Words, the opener. It's a Thursday.
Yeah, that's next fall. That's correct. And they're going to play Michigan State next fall, George.
I saw
How about that? That's they always usually get one of those teams that they get some money to play.
Well, this year would have been the year to play them.
Yeah, it would have. Yes, it would
very
have.
good.
New coach. It would have been the perfect time.
Right.
So when the YSU comes back and plays in the fall, that their schedule is all set. It includes Incarnate Word and Michigan State as their out of conference.
And is it the league opener of North Dakota State?
This spring it is.
This
Yes.
spring,
Yes, it is.
Okay, so they're
They're
really
picked
getting 2 seasons at one. So actually, if you could get something going in the abbreviated spring,
Right.
get that mojo into the fall, get these guys in the weight room, it's like you're getting a free season.
For a new coach, Coach Phillips trying to get it turned around.
Yep.
He has an opportunity right now. They're picked 8th, George. So whatever they do, will be good. You know, if they can score 5 victories, 6 victories, then that'll be a very successful season. YSU fans don't want to hear that though. They're used to winning big time.
Not the old.
They're
school.
used to winning big time, and they want a lot of wins. So
Or the old school.
yeah, so Coach Phillips, you have a lot of things on the agenda, but winning and winning with dignity is always what the Penguins have always done.
Yes.
Good luck to you.
Yeah, absolutely good enough. Let's give some thoughts on the Super Bowl, biggest football game of the year. Going into it, we thought it'd be close. I mean, it's one thing that everybody thought Kansas City would and literally, I think on ESPN, one guy picked Tampa. But when you look at this game, let's take it apart. Let's just pull back on the Mahomes hyperbole a little bit. Is he great? Yes. Is he autogram Terry Bradshaw, Joe Montana, Marino? Not yet.
That is our first check mark on the game. We know he's a very good quarterback. We know he's very, very good. But please stop talking like he's a Hall of Famer when he's won 1 Super Bowl and he's lost in the last 2 seasons 2 crushing losses to Brady. He looked nothing but average in that Super Bowl, George, and that's what happens when you're playing on your back. And so that game, let's hold
Can we
our
pull the
horses.
dynasty back?
Yeah, please.
1 win?
Yes.
Okay.
I remember I think it was 2013.
Oh, yeah.
They were telling us that
Absolutely.
Seattle's going to be a dynasty.
Going to win 10 in a row.
Oh, they're going to win. Have they? No, they have not. It's hard to win in this league. My dad used to tell me when I was a little boy, wait 10 years down the road. If that guy's won 4 championships, 3 championships, and you could,
Yep, we'll pat his head.
then I'll say, wow, he's a Hall of Famer. But let's not
And he is terrific.
let's not make him royalty when he's won 1 championship. That's all.
I heard a guy on ESPN the day before the game. Montana, Bradshaw, Marino, Elway. You back to Otto Graham. Says he's better than all of them. I'm saying.
Think about saying that stupidity.
It's so dumb that I can't even. But they say so. I guess when you're filling X hours year round, you're going to say some dumb stuff.
Well, the reason it's dumb is they've all done it for years upon years.
Yeah.
And also, number two, there's not if Elway played in today's game,
Did he have any 300-yard passing?
he'd have it in the first half. They throw the ball every down.
Marino wouldn't have any yards.
Oh jeez, they throw the ball every down, and they they don't huddle up. So the stats, when somebody says, "Oh, he broke another record," every record is going to be broken. Every team is going to have a quarterback. Carr is going to break Blanda and Stable's record at Oakland. Now, this is what I just said. He couldn't hold either one of their fingertips. He's going to break every one of their records.
Yeah.
Garofalo, if he stayed in San Francisco another 8 years, he's going to break all Montana's records. He couldn't hold nothing to do with Montana.
Hey, let's look at the league this year. Something strange. If you're of the persuasion to maybe put a few shackles in.
Oh, there's a lot of shackle on the going on.
56% were the dogs.
That's amazing, George. That really is.
Did that surprise you?
Oh,
did that
shocked.
sound high?
Oh, no, that's amazing. No, it's amazing.
You a dog better?
Yeah, I used to be.
Me too. And I think sometimes I get after myself. I used to go with the logic you have two chances to win the game and the spot.
Right.
I think a lot of these Super Bowls in particular, if you picked the winner, you had the game. And it kind of, in the NBA's like that. You know, you can have a 12-point lead and you blink your eye and you're lost by 11.
Yeah, no question. Well, we're going to talk about the underdogs this year.
Yeah.
150 wins for the dogs, 116 losses, 3 ties. That's a 56% winning percentage for underdogs. So going into the Super Bowl, it would not be surprising if you follow the league that the underdog was going to be right here, and they did. Tampa Bay whooped them, and so it was an underdog ticket cashing year. George made a good point. If you can pick the winner and an underdog in this COVID year, it was different.
And they won a game much of that time. That's the number that I think people aren't looking at closely enough.
Right.
A lot of those dogs won the game.
They win the
But
game.
here's something. Looking back, and we told when we do well, we say when we miss. Did we nail that draft or what 3 years ago?
Yeah, we did. And if you put on our station and put the archives on, and you can get into Armstrong and look it up, we said in that draft there was 3 great players, and the first one was the first draft choice, Kyler Murray. He's turned out to be very good. He hasn't turned out to be great yet, but he will be. I predict he's still got a chance.
Mm-hmm.
The other one that everybody laughed at when George and I said Josh Allen.
Yeah, I was all over.
You know, I understand. I saw him play. He's had a gun. He played with lousy teams that had no receiver, and he made him good. And he can run. He can move and he's big.
And see, I saw the weather and said, man, if you could play in Wyoming, and where's he go? Wyoming East, Buffalo.
You know, that's a great point, George. So wherever he went, it was going to be easier for him.
I think so. You got Speedy. The antithesis this year is a kid from Alabama.
Yeah.
He has the best line.
Yes.
Best runners. Best receivers. Best defense getting the ball back.
Yeah, Mac Jones is not high on our list because of that. I mean, Tua was not high on our list because of that. And Tua was just decent. He's nothing like these guys. But the one we hit on big on that one, you saw it in the Super Bowl, that we said the best player in this draft was Devin White. If you watched him play at LSU, he was a missile. He ran faster than the safeties, hit harder than anybody on the field.
Is he Urlacher?
Yeah, he is exactly just Zach player.
Oh, geez.
Zach player.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. You know, Urlacher was a safety in New Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now.
Ran back punts.
Yep. Devin White put a show on in the Super Bowl. 12 tackles, 8 solos. 8 solo tackles. Had the interception in the end zone. But if you watch him play,
did he have to remind somebody on that interception? I think he did remind somebody, if I recall.
That's you don't. It's just, he's just an unbelievable player.
Yes, he is.
And they stand out. If you stand out in the pros, that means what kind of athlete you are, because you're playing with freaks all over the field. And so congratulations.
How about the game's built as a battle of the QBs, and it became a battle of the lines?
Yeah, the trenches were one. This thing was one. We had a guy calling our radio show, and who really knows the sport. He's an agent, and that's the first thing that came out of his mouth. He said, "Listen, this game was won on the offense and defensive lines." And I said, "They always are. That's who wins the games." If you get pass protection of your quarterback in that pros, that's pretty good. If you're throwing from your back, they all look the same, lousy. In this game, Mahomes was throwing from his back, and therefore the line of scrimmage was the deciding vote here. We had 4-man rush for Tampa Bay, getting to the quarterback. We had Tampa Bay power running for 4 or 5 yards. This game was dominant, George, on the line of scrimmage.
Somehow Brady got the Leonard Fournette and got the old Leonard from LSU.
Yeah, he did. You know, Fournette came out as a stud, and
remember when he was in college?
Oh,
I
jeez.
called him. Did you see this guy?
yeah, I know. And what happened was a lot of these pros, and George and I talk about, are front runners. They handled positive, and so Tampa got it going. And Fournette is one of those front runners. When he's got it going, look out.
What's he call him? Playoff Lenny or
He's
something?
dynamite. He's
Yeah.
dynamite. Yeah.
There he is.
You know, when he's adversity hits, he's pouting on the
Oh, they'll be
sideline.
fighting on the bench.
Yes. And so perfect timing for Leonard. Perfect also timing for Todd Bowles. What a great job. He decided to play Mahomes. Said, I'm not blitzing. I studied the films. When we blitz him, he makes big plays.
And Al and I had great luck years ago with the great Miami college teams.
Mm-hmm.
They would rush for him. We would just say, no chance.
Within a quarter, you'd know when those Miami teams,
You couldn't
block them.
No,
You couldn't block those 4. Well, that's what happened in this game with Tampa Bay.
They didn't block him.
Kansas City tried super hard to keep Mahomes on his feet, but he couldn't. They had Shaq Barrett chasing him. They had Jason Pierre-Paul chasing him. They had Vita Vea back. Now that was a big lift that he put pressure up the middle and stopped the run cold. Rushing for George called me and said, "Hey, do you know how many yards Mahomes ran for in that game?"
I've never heard of it in my life. 497. They only blitzed 11% of the time. 27, 4 or fewer defenders. But the thing about it was, you had Pierre, Paul, and Barrett in there, despite, like you said, Vita Vea back didn't hurt any.
And what happened was, Mahomes would take 2 steps and start running.
Mm-hmm.
And so when George told me that almost close to 500 yards running by Mahomes, I had to look it up. And it was the most pre-throw, pre-sack yards run by any quarterback. All the games this year. Now, who would think of the Super Bowl that would happen? But
how about they have stuff to measure such stuff?
They do.
That's the thing.
They do.
They must be measured with those little.
They have these analytics
how they
on
see
everything.
a guy going down the field and they say he's going 23 miles an hour. I look at him like, the bottom line was he was running for his rear end.
He was. And Kansas City had injuries. They had 3 guys, 2.5 guys out. Somebody called and said they had all 5 guys out from training camp.
Yeah,
Training camp.
Yeah.
So when you don't have when you're getting beat up on the line of scrimmage, you know you have no trouble. It brings it back to the Cardinal Mooney teams of the past when they give that triple I and they tell you we're going to run it right here.
Here it comes.
And it didn't make any difference.
Hey, Al, let me ask you, Mahomes, the turf toe, he got surgery this week. Any effect? Maybe.
We don't know that, but I mean, it could have been.
Give him credit.
Because he's a go. He does play.
Yeah, his dad, being a pro athlete, rubbed some really good stuff off of him. He never makes excuses.
Yep, and I like that he played, didn't make any excuses.
But
But I don't think that had anything to do with the game.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, I thought let's give Tampa Bay the credit. I don't want to take anything away from them. In the NFL, also
Let's talk about that.
Locally, the Pouncey twins both decided to retire at the same time. Think of that. Growing up in Florida in poverty, two kids, that's who they were at one time, deciding that they were going to make it in the NFL. There's somebody watching our show right now that has decided they want to make something of themselves. The Pounceys are great leaders in saying you can do it. You can make it if you really put your work into it. And those twins who played in the NFL for years, especially Marquise for the Steelers, George.
Much better player, Al.
Better than his brother.
And his brother changed his number to, and I guess his brother was hurt the last 2. Now, obviously, in retrospect, the Browns take Pittsburgh out, another local team.
Right.
And Roethlisberger and Pouncey sitting on the bench, literally crying. That was a harbinger, probably, of this decision.
Yeah, I think it was. And I think both of them were planning on retiring right at that moment. Pouncey has pulled the trigger. Roethlisberger has not. I think since he did not, I think he's coming back. I will not say that for sure, but I will say this: that the reason the Steelers have been so successful, and the Browns have not been, is the front office. And there's an example: in the 18th pick of 2011, they get Marquise Pouncey. 17 teams passed up on a Hall of Fame center that they could have had. Steelers have always hit on those kind of players. Mm-hmm. Now the Browns are starting to hit on them. Mm-hmm. That's why you see a major change coming. The Browns are hitting on their drafts. They're hitting on free agents. It's really turned the corner, and right now the Browns are the better team than the Steelers.
Now Subway has a deal: buy 3, get 1 free on the app or something. Can they do a what brother deal Subway with the Steelers, or he makes too much?
The Steelers are out. They don't have the money to sign him. Even though he'd like to go there, but the Browns are not. The Browns
put him on that line?
Yeah, the Browns. I would think right now the Browns are one of 2 favorites, them and the Titans, to get him. I thought the Ravens, but the Ravens backed off.
Let me tell you about Watt one year. You'll like this story. It was on Hard Knocks. One of those football families, the brothers played forever for the Bengals or Oilers or something. Matthews.
Right.
And they were having one of these joint scrimmages where their team came together with Watts, and the old man was there actually worried about his son having to go against Watt because he knew as a rookie he was going to get a baptism.
Yeah, as a young Watt, when he was in his prime, he was about as dominating defensive player.
He's 32.
Now he's not near the point he was, and I understand that. You get old. But if he gets to a team that he doesn't have to play on rundowns, that he only has to play on passing downs,
look out.
He could be that same kind of player again because he'll be fresh the whole game. That's what the Browns are hoping to get.
He reminds you of Suggs?
Yes.
Rushing quarterback?
Suggs.
Specialist.
The specialist. Suggs later in his life, exactly.
I got you.
He couldn't play every down, but if you put him in there on 3rd and 8, that offensive tackle was shaking in his shoes. Yeah, that's the kind of player he is. And when you look at the Watt brothers, they're very close. That's why the Steelers have that slight chance, because he'd like to play with his brother. I just don't think they have the salary cap.
Trevor Lawrence had his own pro day. He moved it up because he's getting left shoulder surgery. He'll be ready for training camp.
He is the best. He is the best I've seen come out.
They're saying, is it since Elway or is it since Luck?
Since I think he's better than Luck. That's what they
have. Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah, I've never seen anybody do what he does.
Oh.
Yeah, his size, his speed, his delivery, his ability to take his ego out of it, everything about him is sensational. I've never been sure of a quarterback. I know that Urban Meyer took the job because of it.
Hey, that's a funny line. He said, I wanted to show them that I'm no different than everyone else, but by doing it, he shows how different he is than everybody else.
Yes, he did.
He's a stud. I remember he broke loose against, I believe it was Ohio State, and he just started down that left sideline, and it became apparent they can't catch him.
Yeah, that's the
you
other
don't
part.
See that size.
No, he's so different. He's so big that he's going to take some shots. I worry about injury with him. The coach, Urban Meyer, and staff.
He won't run him like he did his quarterback at Ohio State. He's too smart, right?
He'll never run.
Well, I thought he was smart till he hired for 28 hours that strength coach from Iowa.
Yeah, he did. Boyle.
That didn't last long, did it?
No,
that was. You know who did that? That was the big boys in NFL offices saying,
they call him.
Not today, Urban.
Yeah.
Not this time. Let's do college basketball. We got about 4 minutes. Duke, I don't think. Carolina, they'll probably have to win the tournament. Kentucky, no. Michigan State, probably not. They're 9th, 10th in the Big Ten. You could find a scenario. What happened? Did the COVID cause this, or is it a combination of the COVID? What went on?
My thought process is it's the players, how they've done the recruiting. They all want to get the great high school player, and they're not around. They're playing the G League. They're not, the best ones are not playing there. The men are playing in the pros. The college 23-year-olders that are dominant players. The game has changed. You're not getting the Anthony Davises out of high school.
Now, this big guards
already.
This big guards.
They've been around forever.
He's been there 37 years.
Yeah, so he's one of the examples we talk about.
Now-
Now has a chance.
Now, how about next year?
He'll be on the bench in high school. I mean,
Call
college.
it summer. He'll
Pros.
he'll play, but
He'll be a bench player.
be like one of the Plumleys.
Yes. He's not a pro.
Nothing wrong with that.
No,
12-year
no, he'll have a
career,
great career and make a lot of money.
bank $30 million.
Oh, no
and-
question. He's just
Okay.
saying he's not a great
All
player.
right, that's what I wanted to know.
But for high school, for college,
Oh,
he's
no,
outstanding.
he's a
Yeah.
game record.
Yeah.
Okay, we got 3 minutes. Gonzaga or Baylor? One, will they lose? Two, are they clear cut? How far is the drop to Michigan or whomever you have?
There's nobody close to Baylor or Gonzaga, and it shows on the floor. I mean, that's
Okay.
easy. Every game they play is a double-digit win. Somebody will have to get hurt. Some teams got to shoot 80%, 7%.
The Zags can afford an injury, from what I see.
Yeah, they do have depth. Baylor has depth too.
Okay,
Not as much as Gonzaga.
Baylor has 5 guys shoot over 43 from 3.
Yeah, I think
I looked at that stat and thought it can't be. I checked it.
Yeah, Gonzaga and Baylor are the teams. I like Michigan, but they haven't played in 3 weeks, 2 weeks, whatever. The mid-majors are all trying to get in.
Who do we like? Loyola, St. Bonnie, St.
There's a lot of
Louis,
there's a
Boise.
lot of good teams. I like
Could
San
we
Diego
see
State.
one in a 4?
I like San Diego State. No, I don't think so. I don't
No.
think they're good enough to make the Final Four. I don't see that happening. For sure.
Really?
Yeah, I think the Power Fives. Somebody out of the Big Ten could be a second team out in there. Somebody out of the Big 12. The Big 12's really good this year.
Yeah.
You know, that's one of those.
See,
things.
that's why I respect Baylor's undefeated more than Gonzaga. Gonzaga's tough games are all before Christmas.
No question about that.
Doesn't mean they're no
Yeah,
good.
it's true. The league is tougher, but Gonzaga has dominated anybody they play.
How about when you go through a league? Kansas, Oklahoma,
Texas,
Texas,
Oklahoma State, West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's a really good
You know,
one.
an easy night. I don't think Oklahoma State's an easy game.
No chance. No chance. They could do some damage in the tournament too. They're very good. But I do like San Diego State to maybe win 2 games. They get knocked out. Other than that, I don't see much. Belmont's always that dangerous team because they're so good offensively. They're really a great offensive force. So they're scary. But when it comes down to it, George, I would think somebody in the Power 5
Blue blood.
is going to be up there taking down the championship. And I consider Gonzaga one of those, by the way.
Yeah, they've been
Even
too
though they're
good
in a
for
different
too long.
league.
I got you.
Even though they're in a
Yeah,
different
there are
league.
6 majors in basketball, but when you talk about the big boys, it's always the same. But they've been there long enough. They're a big boy.
I do think that.
They're a big boy.
They are.
Gonzaga?
They used to be the Cinderella.
No longer.
They're not Cinderella anymore. That's
No,
for sure.
no, I agree with you. You heard it here. Thanks again for watching Bottom Line Sports Talk. See you next week.